Good evening, everyone. Uh, so you have, I'll give you 5 minutes time now. I can even give you 10 minutes time. I'm okay with it. Revise all the concepts that we have discussed till now. Okay. I'm going to call each and everyone's name and I'll be asking questions. So you have to answer them. So right from beginning of ray optics till now, whatever we have done, the laws, the diagrams and everything, go through it. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to call each and everyone name and I'm going to ask you questions. I want you all to respond. Keep revising.
Sir,
Please tell.
my exams just got over, sir. So I'm watching the videos now only.
Okay. Okay, you can just go have a look at the textbook.
Okay, sir.
3 more minutes. Yeah. Sharing my screen. Shipra.
Yes, sir.
So tell me the rules that we need to follow to draw the ray diagram for spherical mirrors.
A ray should be parallel to the principal axis after reflection, and it should
Ray
pass through the
parallel-
focus.
Ray parallel to principal axis after reflection will,
Pass through the focus.
and where will the focus point lie?
On the right hand side.
No.
Sorry, on the left. Before the mirror. In front of the mirror.
When you're asked about the question of where does the focus point lie, you should not say in front of the mirror. You should say something else. Lies to the axis.
Okay, sir.
What is the second condition?
When a ray falls in the direction of center of curvature, it reflects back along the same path.
Okay, correct. Third,
A ray passing through the focus is reflected parallel to principal axis.
okay. Fourth,
Uh,
something to do with pole.
pole.
A ray hitting the pole.
It will it will reflect back with an angle, sorry, reflecting angle.
That we call it as symmetrical reflection.
Yes, sir.
Reflect back symmetrically with respect to the principal
axis.
Okay. Okay, you can go on mute. Nikhilesh,
Sir.
you can come a little closer to the mic.
Yes, sir.
There is a mirror equation, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have mirror equation is there. So what does the expression tell us?
So 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f.
Okay, Okay, 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. Okay. Now, while deriving this formula, what are all the assumptions we need to keep? What are all the things we focus on?
Mm.
Like, how did we actually derive the formula? I want the outline, I don't want the steps. What is the idea we follow to derive the steps? I told you a hint in the class. What is it? You need to look for something.
For
You need to look for
set of right
two,
hand.
two sets of, are they right angle triangle? You need to look for two sets. You need to look for two sets of similar
Similar.
triangles. And those two triangles are generally symmetrical and using what criteria?
Mm. Not sure.
They are based on AA criteria. Two angles will be the same. One is right angle and the second is the angles from the triangle that you choose. Okay. So mirror equation is derived in this way. So while deriving the equation, okay, while deriving the equation, do we need to apply sign convention?
Yes, sir.
And what else is the other time we need to apply sign convention?
Um, I don't get the question.
I mean, you will apply sign convention during derivation. While solving problems also, will you apply sign convention?
Yes, sir.
So you need to apply sign convention while solving problems also. Okay. But you apply sign conventions to what variables in the problem?
U
Is it
and
for the
V.
given? Is it for the given parameters, unknown parameters, or for both?
For both three.
You apply sign convention for both given and
Both given and result. Three.
given and unknown, right? That is wrong. You will apply it only for given, unknown. You should not apply sign convention. Okay, be careful with it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you can go on mute. Mokshit.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about critical angle.
Sir, critical angle is an angle when you pass an incident ray through a mirror and when
One minute. Correction. Incident ray to a mirror.
no, sir, a denser or like a refractive surface,
Okay.
and when you pass it in an angle, it literally grinds through that surface, sir.
Okay. You're there. I'm able to understand what is there in your mind, but put it in a proper sequence and try to explain.
A ray when it, which is passed through an angle in which the
Pass through an angle is okay. Pass through an angle from which medium to which medium?
rarer to denser.
Rarer to denser. No. You pass it from denser to rarer medium. The
Yes,
angle of incidence in which medium? In the
denser medium.
denser medium, for which
The refracted ray grinds through the surface, refracted
it
surface.
grazes, not grinds. It's called as
Yes,
grazing.
sir. Okay,
Okay, if you are not sure of what is the word grazing, you can say the refracted ray makes an angle 90 degrees with the
90
normal.
degrees
Then
with
it is
the-
called as the critical angle, correct? If I
Yes,
take the refractive index of this surface as mu1, okay, I'm calling the refractive index of this surface, let's say I'm calling it as 1.4, and I'm calling this as 1.5. Okay,
yes, sir.
will
Yes,
this kind of a phenomenon take place or not?
yes,
Take
sir.
30
It may
seconds
take
time. Take 30 seconds time, observe the diagram, look at it and tell me. Refractive index of the below medium, the medium in which the incident ray is there is 1.4. Refractive index of the other medium is 1.5. Will this kind of a phenomenon take place?
Yes, sir. It will take place, no, sir.
You're sure? Huh?
No, sir, I am slightly doubtful, sir, because denser medium should have a lot of more value than rarer, no, sir.
You're there. That is why I asked. You're correct, but be confident.
Okay.
This phenomenon will not take place at all because denser medium cannot have lesser refractive index. My job is
Yes,
to
sir.
confuse you. You should be
Okay.
confident. So it should be
Okay.
1.5 and 1.4. You are right.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
there's 1.5 and 1.4. Yes, now it will happen. Okay,
Yes,
if it
sir.
is happening. I want
Yes.
you to apply Snell's law at this point P and tell me what is the relation between all the angles and the refractive index. How to apply Snell's law? I have told this multiple times.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what should we do?
Sir, we can use the formula mu1 by mu2 equal to v1 by v2, no, sir.
See, Snell's law generally, Snell's law means it should have the angle sin I by sin R, something like that. That is Snell's law.
Yes, sir. mu1 sin r, mu1 sin I equal to mu.
Okay,
mu
that is
sin R.
there. Okay, that is formula accepted. Apply this here and show it to me.
So we'll get 1.5 sin C equal to 1.4 sin 90, sir.
Perfect. So sin C should be equal to 1.4 divided by 1.5 into sin 90 is 1. So 1.4 by 1.5. So C
Yes, sir.
should be equal to sin
Sin
inverse of
inverse
1.4 by 1.5. Okay. The last question
Yes,
to
sir.
you is, what if I increase the angle in the denser medium beyond the critical angle?
Then total internal reflection will happen, sir.
Perfect. You can go on mute.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So total internal reflection will take place. Correct. Hemant.
Yes, sir.
So tell me the laws of refraction.
The loss of refraction.
The laws of refraction, not reflection.
Okay, sir. So the
Pass.
incident ray,
Hmm.
the incident ray and the refracted
Okay.
ray of the normal and the normal at the point of incidence lie in the same plane, sir.
Correct.
The product of refractive index and the sign of angle of is in a medium is constant, sir. The Snell's law.
Okay, the product of refractive index and sign of, don't say sign of angle of incidence.
Okay.
Actually, Snell's law is stated something like this. The ratio of sign of angle of incidence to the sign of angle of refraction, it is equal to some constant. What is the name of that constant?
Mu.
What is that mu called as?
Constant.
Constant is okay. Da? Constant is it?
Refractive index.
It's called as refractive index. Okay, correct. What are the two types of refractive indices I have told you that exist? So what are the two refractive indices that I told that exist? First.
Sir, absolute and relative.
You have absolute and relative. So what does absolute refractive index mean?
Sir, absolute refractive index.
How do you define?
The
It is
ratio
ratio
of the speed of light in vacuum divided by the sir, I'll say that.
Speed of light in
mu,
the given.
Speed of light in vacuum divided by speed of light in a medium.
Speed of light in the given medium. Okay. The relative will be mu2 divided by mu1. Okay, accepted. One last question. So based on this, tell me whether denser medium will have greater refractive index or rarer medium. refractive index of denser medium, refractive index of rarer medium. I want you to put a greater than or smaller than symbol so that this is satisfied. Refractive index of
Sir, I think denser medium should have larger refractive index than rarer medium. Sir.
why?
Sir, I think light will travel slowly in the denser medium, so higher.
Correct.
So higher refractive.
Correct. 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 Okay, you can go on mute.
Thank you.
Gayatri.
Sir,
So for you, the question is, when light travels from rarer to denser medium, what happens to it? When light travels from rarer to denser medium, what happens to it?
the speed decreases, sir.
Speed decreases accepted due to the speed decrement in the speed. Okay. Will the ray bend towards the normal or away from the normal?
Towards the normal, sir.
Okay. What is the reason for it? How will you prove that it has actually got bent towards the normal?
Because the light will travel slower than the medium, sir.
Slower in denser medium. Okay, accepted. But how is it helping you to determine that? I showed you a derivation, if you remember. Mu1 into sin I should be equal to mu2 into sin R.
Sin
Then mu2 by mu1 should be equal to sin I
I
by.
by sin I.
Now you
sin
tell
R.
me, you think and tell me. Complete the remaining steps. Mu2 by mu1, is that value greater than 1 or less than 1? There are two members who told about the refractive index of denser and rarer medium. So is mu2 and mu1, what is the relation between them? Which one is greater? So just now we discussed. When you talk about the refractive index of denser and rarer medium, which one has greater refractive index? You need to work on this, okay? You can go on mute. Purnashri?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, complete it. So mu2
The angle
by,
of instance will be greater than angle of reflection.
but how did you get that? Mu2 by mu1, is it going to be a value greater than 1 or less than 1?
Greater than 1, sir.
Greater than 1. So sin I by sin R
Is greater than
is greater than 1, which implies sin I is greater than sin R.
1.
So I will be greater than R. So if there is the angle of incidence, what will happen to angle of refraction? It will be something like this. Correct? So angle of incidence is greater than the angle of refraction. Okay. Last question for you. Yesterday we discussed a concept based on glass slab. Right? So this is the incident ray. The refractive index of glass is 1.5 and refractive index of the outer medium is 1, and here also it is 1. Okay, this is the incident ray. I want you to tell the steps for me to complete the ray diagram.
So in glass slab, it will move towards the normal, sir.
So what is the first step I need to do?
Draw
Draw
normal.
Draw the
normal
at which point?
at the point of refraction.
Point of incidence. Point of incidence. Okay, Purnashri, next step.
Yes, sir. It will move towards the Normal, sir.
for me to say towards the normal, I need to extend this ray. Correct?
Yes.
Then I need to draw a ray between. What is this path called as?
Between the two,
What is this path called as? It's called as the actual path. So between these two, it will go accepted. Then this refracted ray will behave like
the incident.
incident rays.
incident ray for the second refracting surface. Make it fast. Then
And
what
then
are we
it will
supposed
move
to do?
away from the normal, sir.
So
And
away
that
from the path.
refracted ray will be parallel to the first instant ray.
That is the extended incident ray. Means this is I, this is R, this will also be R, this will be E. How to prove that I will be equal to E?
Because they both are parallel.
But how will you prove it? We don't know that they are parallel unless you prove something with the angle. There should be a proof, no? You can't see these light rays actually in real time. There should be something that we need to track. Sunlight is falling on us. Are you able to see them as rays? No, right? You'll see some brightness, that's it. Then how will you prove that these two rays are parallel to each other? Yeah, Nikhilesh, you can tell now.
They'll be parallel.
So how are they parallel? Parallel is okay. How?
I and that E angle will be the same.
How did you get that?
So first, the R and R are going to be the same.
Okay.
So now if this R is same and that I forgot that.
Okay, both are alternate interior angles. They both are same.
That will be no.
Okay. So what are we supposed to do? What is the idea you get whenever angles and refractive index is there? What is the only mathematical equation that gives you the relation between refractive indices and angles?
Snell's law, sir.
Snell's law.
So you apply Snell's law at point A, then what will happen? 1 into sin I should be equal to 1.5 into sin R. Similarly, applying Snell's law at point P, what will it give? 1.5
sin R equal to again 1 into sin E.
1.5 sin R, 1.5 sin R. So sin I should be equal to I will be equal to E. Okay. Is this clear? So yesterday, I told you one more important point also. What is this? If you see the incident ray has got shifted by a slight amount on the left hand side. What is the displacement called as?
Lateral displacement.
Lateral shift.
We call it as lateral shift also. Both are right. Okay. But we didn't try to calculate the lateral shift yesterday. Since now you people are doing slightly better, I'm going to explain it. Listen. So can I say that this distance is also lateral shift? Correct? So because the initial incident ray and the emergent ray are parallel. What is the distance between two parallel lines? It is a perpendicular distance. Correct? So AB, if I take this point as P, if I drop a perpendicular here, if I call it as Q. Now I have some questions for you guys. If this angle is I, then how much is this angle?
That's also I.
Why?
I forgot that.
Vertically opposite angle.
They're vertically opposite angles. Then what is this?
I minus R.
Correct. That is I minus R. Okay. So what is our job? Our job is to find the lateral displacement. See, I'm going to give you the idea now. The idea is, okay, think. So whenever, in the case of refraction, I repeat, whenever you have refraction and you're asked to calculate the distances and there are angles and refractive indices involved, then the first thing is you should always apply Snell's law. This is the first step. Okay. So Snell's law is the number of points, the number of times the ray is getting refracted, I repeat, the number of times the ray is getting refracted is the number of times you apply Snell's law. So in this case, how many times should we apply Snell's law?
3 times.
It is actually 2 then.
2.
Because how many boundaries are there? Number of boundaries is equal to number of refractions.
2 only, sir.
So you took the rays into consideration. I spoke about number of refractions. Sharia.
Okay.
So number of refractions means A and B. So Snell's law has to be applied twice. That we have already done. Correct? But actually, you will not, generally they will not give you the refractive index as 1.5 or something. It will be given as mu. So we will try to derive everything in terms of general formula. Then we can apply it to the problem. So Snell's law is applied twice. We have already done it. Right? So can I write sin I is equal to mu sin R? Right? Secondly, what are we trying to find? Distance. Correct? So when you're trying to find the distance, what is given to us? Angles are given and refractive index is given. Right? No, think of it logically. You're not handling those angles as independent quantities. What is a function you're involving for it? You're involving what function? Trigonometric function. So wherever trigonometry comes into picture, right? I repeat it. Wherever trigonometry comes into picture, what is the first thing you need to look for? Trigonometry is applicable for whom?
Right angle.
Right-angled triangles. Correct? Huh? So the right-angled triangle that I'm going to take into consideration is, observe, A, Q, and B, where this angle is R. See, this I will call it as the thickness of the glass slab. Right? The distance between the two refracting surfaces is what I call it as thickness. If I take this as T, okay. Similarly, if I take the triangle AB, if I take the triangle APB, what is angle A in this triangle? So I've taken this triangle for your reference. Okay. So how much is the angle A there?
I minus, sir.
Correct. It is I minus. Correct. So if you observe in both the right angle triangles, what is common? What is common?
AB.
AB is the common side. Okay. So what we will do is, here I have T involved and BP is delta x. BP is delta x, right? Now I will try to think of the ratios, the trigonometric ratio in such a way where one of the known parameters is involved and AB is involved so that AB gets cancelled out. So from the first triangle, can I write sin R? Sorry, I don't have sin R. Can I write cos R is equal to T divided by AB? Here, can I write sin of I minus R is equal to delta x divided by AB? Right. Now, if I divide both, sin of I minus R divided by cos R, it will be delta x divided by T. Right. This will be sin of I minus R is sin I cos R minus cos I sin R, the whole divided by cos R is equal to delta x divided by T. Correct, Dada? Are you able to understand till this step? Please copy it. I know
Yes,
it
sir.
involves a math. Please copy it. Okay. See, sin I Cos r by cos r will get cancelled. Minus cos I tan r is equal to delta x by t. So delta x will be equal to t into sin I, correct? Minus cos I into, guys, remember sin I is equal to mu sin r. We know that sin I is equal to mu sin r. So sin r will be how much? Sin I divided by mu r. So if I take this angle as r, can I say that this is sin I and this is mu? Can I say that? And this will be root of mu square minus, I can say this will be square root of mu square minus sin square. Okay. Cos I into, tell me what is tan r from this triangle.
Sin I by root of mu square minus
Correct.
sin.
Mu square minus sin square I. Right. T is multiplied to everything. So what is common in the numerator? I can take T sin I into 1 minus cos I divided by root of mu square minus sin square I. So this is a formula for lateral shift with respect to a prism of thickness T and angle of incidence I, refractive index being mu. Done?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you calculate. And one last concept that is left out with respect to refraction at plane surface. Okay. I remember starting refraction at spherical surface, but there's one more point, please write it down. Refraction at plane surface, the last concept. Okay. Suppose there is a beaker like this. Okay. And in this beaker, let's say there is a small shiny object placed at the bottom. Okay. So in this beaker, there is a liquid. We don't know what liquid it is. Its refractive index is mu. And outside medium is air medium for time being. I hope you're able to understand till this point. Now tell me, if you place your eye here, I want you to locate where this object will tend to appear. Okay, but before that, if I take the topmost point as the reference, from the topmost point to the bottom, I call it as real depth. Okay, I call it as real depth. From here, if I take one of the light rays going like this, okay, so what will happen is when the light ray from this shining object is going towards your eye, what is the angle of incidence at this point?
90. 0.
Yes, angle of incidence is 0 degrees, and angle of refraction will also be 0. Now, if I take an other ray, okay, if I take another ray, let us say which is incident at an angle I. I take another ray which is incident at an angle I, then what will happen?
Away from the normal, sir.
Correct. So ray will bend away from the normal. This is the angle of refraction. Correct. So this is one of the refracted rays. This is another refracted ray. We know that for any image to be located, what are the minimum number of reflected or refracted rays that are required? Minimum is 2.
2.
So look at these 2 refracted rays. Is there a possibility for them to meet in real time?
No, sir. Virtual image is possible.
So a virtual image is formed. For that, what I will do, I will backtrace it, and this will be the position where the image is formed. Does it make sense? So what will happen when you see from here? What I'm trying to say is actually the object is placed at this point, correct? But where is the image located? Means the image I'm trying to talk about is where your eye will actually feel that the object is there. Actually, the object is at O only, but your eye will feel as if the object is at point I. And if you measure the depth from the surface, this is what we call it as apparent. Okay. Am I clear? Now listen to this very carefully. Our job is to derive the relation between real depth and apparent depth. Okay. Tell me one thing, when you're seeing from here, this refracted ray and this refracted ray, the first and the second refracted ray are supposed to be so close to each other. I repeat, they are supposed to be so close to each other because the size of your pupil is very small. The angles considered in this situation is very small. Angles considered is very small. Okay. Are you able to understand the logic? Means this refracted ray and the second refracted ray, the first one and the second one, are supposed to be so close to each other for your eye to capture that image perfectly. Because the size of your eye is very small. Correct, Ada? So when the angles involved are going to be very small, can I say sine of an angle can be approximated to tan of the angle can be approximated to the angle itself? Right?
Yes, sir.
So listen, if I take the refractive index of this material as mu and the refractive index of the outside material as 1, outside medium as 1. So this kind of a thing, that is the object being shifted to the top, will appear only when the ray is traveling from denser to rarer medium. Okay. So here also, if you observe, this is denser, this is rarer, because the least refractive index any material can have is 1. That is air or vacuum. Now listen to this very carefully. If I apply, so if this angle is I, then how much will this angle be? It is also I because they are alternate interior angles. If this angle is R, how much will this angle be? This will be R because they are corresponding. Correct? Now, if this is OI, if I take this as A and this as B, things are very simple, guys. At point B, apply Snell's law. Snell's law at point B is going to give you what? Mu into sine I, mu into sine I is equal to 1 into sine R. Okay, well, but since the angles are small, I can write mu into tan I is equal to mu into tan R. Okay. So let this be equation number 1. But what is tan I from the diagram? If I take the right angle triangle BAO, this angle is I, this is real depth. Okay. What is tan I? AB divided by real depth. Similarly, if I take the triangle ABI and this angle is R, then what is tan R? AB divided by apparent depth. So tan R is equal to AB divided by apparent depth. Now take these two and substitute it in 1. What will you get? Mu into AB divided by real depth is equal to, why did I write mu 2 times? Is equal to tan R. Tan R means AB divided by apparent depth. AB and AB will get cancelled, which implies apparent depth is equal to real depth divided by mu. This is a very, very important formula. That is, when the illuminated source is placed in the denser medium, and when you apply keeping your eye in the rarer medium, what will happen? The apparent depth will be equal to real depth divided by the refractive index. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So just a minute. Yeah. Please make a note. So with this, actually the refraction at plane surfaces is over. So in yesterday's class, I started this refraction at spherical surface. Where is it? This one, refraction at spherical surface. This we will continue in the next class. Okay, I hope today's class you understood everything. No doubts, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No doubt, sir.
No doubts.
That's good. So keep revising. Okay. I'll see you all in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.